Hello, my name is Carx82 and welcome back to our GregTech New Horizons Season 2. I am just scanning this component thing. Component assembly line casing, because that is how you get the recipe for the multi-block, but I don't think we actually need to craft that up ever again, so I am going to just get rid of that recipe. I mean, super easy, just titanium basically. And the reason I don't think we need to do that is because I want LUV, which needs to scan the IV, but the IV has its own recipe too, so it doesn't look like we're going to need the other one. We'll just switch those. Throw this in dual, and then craft this up. And then probably don't ever need to craft up the IV one ever again either. So, interesting kind of... a little bit interesting there for the scanning of stuff. Obviously, we got the occasional tungsten steel. There we go. What was it? Dense? I think it was dense, right? Which is 9. Do the 9 ingot recipe, and then 9 right there. All right, cool. So that should be everything for that. Yep, there we go. Still got our europium that is slowly crafting up. It was 10,000. We are down to 1,400 now, and we don't know how many. Yep, we're up to 6,000 crystal chips. That's pretty cool. Also, I restarted the pack just because it's been a couple days, and there is definitely like some weird particle glitch. I noticed it over here as well. Which, as you can see, I crafted up a second electrolyzer. So we are producing it just a bit faster. It is still not super fast. I need to like boost the power of this pretty substantially, but I just haven't done it yet, just because it's over there, and I just don't feel like breaking that. I don't feel like replacing this whole line to like EUV or something like that, which, I mean, we can, but I don't plan on keeping this here forever. A lot of this stuff is going to be broken down when we don't need it and removed, so this is just temporary. Right, and then I have this over here. Now, one thing I was looking at the yacht hatch, which connects it directly to your AE system. I am a little bit nervous about connecting this for these tiny little amounts, because usually... Oops, I thought I hit home. When you start doing stuff like this, like tiny little amounts that are constantly updating AE, it can get like super laggy. And this is kind of one of the reasons you don't use export buses with crafting cards and stuff. Just it can get like super laggy when we're doing stuff like this. So I'm almost thinking I may end up, instead of doing the storage bus, we will have two. We'll have a maybe P2P, and that kind of avoids AE completely. It just transfers the fluid from one place to another using the cables. And then we will have our output hatch, or our ender fluid link covers for things that don't need super high throughput, I'm thinking. Also, it was mentioned that I should just say chlorine out as opposed to 2. Yes, that would make far more sense than what I am doing. I don't know. Sometimes, you know, when you're recording stuff, you don't have time to like stop and think. So when you do stop and think, or it is mentioned, you're like, oh, duh. So yeah, we got that going. This is slowly ticking up with our chlorine production, our hydrochloric acid, and then obviously our ammonia is just chugging away. All fine and dandy. I'm going to keep expanding this as needed for like our different, the different I don't know, they're not like tier 2 fluids, but like they're a little bit more complicated than just pumping it from a world kind of thing, fluids. Also, I'm like, I really hope hydrochloric acid isn't a... You can't pump this, right? I'm pretty sure I checked. Yeah, okay. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I checked to see if hydrochloric acid was a pumpable thing, and it wasn't. Alright, so that is kind of what we're at, and I am starting to work on the component assembly line. Now, question is, where the heck am I putting this? The component assembly line is going to be upgraded quite a bit. I mean, our lasers that we got on, once I upgrade these laser target hatches, we're not going to have to upgrade very often. It's going to be easy to get super high power. So I'm not overly worried about having to put it out like here, but I do plan on probably crafting up more of these tanks in the future. So maybe if I did... I planned like 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, I guess. Alright, so that would probably be about as wide of a platform that I think I would make this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So that would be the tank, that would be the tank, this would be a pathway, and that's kind of the edge of the platform. Alright, so that kind of gives me a bit of an idea. Here, let's do that. That makes it a bit easier to see. Alright, so we could continue this. I could place it back here. I don't think I'm going to build back here. So maybe I'll bring this out farther. Maybe it's like here. Because then that gives me another platform right there, and then we can go this way. That's probably what I'll do. Alright, so component assembly line probably right here. It is pretty big, but I don't think it is... I don't think it gets any bigger than this. We do replace these things on top as we upgrade it, but I don't think it's ever going to get bigger than this, and I don't think we'll need more than one. Don't quote me on that, though. Okay, so I'm going to continue just crafting up, and obviously if we start running into things where I'm like, oh, I need, you know, this whatever fluid, I'll start crafting up another one of these. I do have the yacht tank. I have a thing for that. If I want to craft up a whole one, I have all the parts. And I also have one for the chemical, the mega chemical. So, yeah, I do have... Click one button and we get the whole multi-block all in the chest at the... right there. Alright, and also I am still kind of working towards the ultimate battery. That's another kind of goal. We'll be using the component assembly line to get this, but it kind of gives me an idea what I need to... obviously what we need to work on. A lot of this stuff I get from bees. This is bees, bees, bees. I just haven't processed the... I haven't processed the combs yet. But I mean, really, we're kind of getting down to just like... not even that... This is like all like pretty basic stuff. Okay, like this I can just... You know what? Let's just do it. I'm gonna... Yeah, that's definitely like... definitely some weirdness there. Let's do... Guess, 4 million? That... Yeah. That should turn that on. Right? It usually takes a second to kind of sort itself out. It needs to put those in there, gets that going. There it goes. Alright, cool. So that's just gonna... we're gonna fill this entire thing up. 4 million. Maybe a yacht tank worth of growth... I don't think we're gonna get that far. But, okay. Anyway, I am talking and I need to get to crafting. Did we get the component thing here? Yes. So this was another scan, right? To get the LUV, that's right. And then we can actually remove this because we're not going to do that one, but this one is what we are actually going to do. Now we're starting to get into some more complicated things here. So, also, I don't know why sometimes it doesn't give me all the circuits. It doesn't always do that, but sometimes it does. Alright, probably gonna do... I know, it's so crazy that I'm doing wetware for LUV. I know. I just kind of like doing it. Okay. So everything we are good on except for this dang stuff. Forgot about that. This Arth whatever is a big old pain because of this ore and stuff. We did get this that weird way through the plates, or was the plates, or yes. So orange and plate, but it's the Tiberium. I don't have Tiberium, is the issue. I don't have a lot of it. I have manually mined it, but we only have 62 of it. So gonna have to go get more. Really don't feel like yet another miner. Alright, I'm gonna have to think about that. Okay, been working on all the parts for the component assembly line and been kind of testing out which circuits I prefer. The one thing I don't particularly like is using the mainframes if I don't need to. Particularly for the crystal mainframes. Only because they require superconductor wires, and it is quite a lot of them. So, as we know, that requires, you know, LUV stuff, and it gets pretty crazy with those. So, I'm kind of sticking with the wetwares for the UV and the UHV, and then the LUV and the other one, the ZPM, we might just do the crystal stuff. I don't know. I may change my mind, but I think we're going to do that. Also, I decided I wanted to switch back to... if I can find it. There it is. Yeah, I was debating whether to do the wetware. I think it's just better to do the crystal for at least LUV and ZPM. It might be better. I don't know. Superconductor wires just feels kind of funny with that. But I think we got everything for this. I did... oh, no. Wrong thing. I'm going to put all this stuff in there. We should be pretty good here with this. I might be missing... what am I missing? Oh. Did not... I may need to switch these back to this. Yeah. There. Yeah. And I think I have everything else. Do I? Yeah, I should have had everything else because I was trying to keep track of that. Alright, so yeah, I think that's better. Instead of using the other stuff, the wetwares, unless they are definitely needed. Alright, so with that, we got our thing going. I have no idea how long this takes. Oh, that's pretty quick. Alright, so we're going to get that going. Also, I have no idea how... Alright, it's it's basically the tier that you're doing. All right, cool. So if I want to do ZPM, oh, it's only, looks like it's the tier below, actually. All right, cool. Yeah, I was just thinking, I'm like, do we need to update our power? We're going to need to do the lasers soon, but not yet. Okay, so I was debating between LUV and ZPM. And I think I may actually just go with ZPM. It's not that much more complicated. They are a bit more expensive, especially the Europium. But at this point, Europium is actually pretty quick, to be honest. Americium isn't too bad. It's 1 ingot every 3 seconds. So if I just let the world run for a while, it's not too terrible. I mean, it's not great yet, but yeah. But yeah, so this is how fast I'm producing Europium. It's really not that bad. We could have like 10 fusion reactors producing it crazy fast, but that's not how I play, if anyone knows my series. All right, so oh, that went already. I'm just talking away, and it yeah, there we go. Okay, so there is the component assembly line, the controller. Not even the most expensive part. Definitely. These component things are pretty crazy. Now, one of the ones that I really didn't feel like having to do was the molten arthurium, to be honest, with that stuff. So I'm like, what about ZPM? And you know what? This stuff is much, much easier to craft up. Although I do need a recipe for that. I can... No. Yep. There. The name of this? Dallas and something. The one weird thing about that is... it needs erbium. But you do get 51. So, I mean, you don't need a lot. And all this other stuff is easy to get. I do need to make a recipe for this one, though. Alright, so that is mix. Do I have a 5? I don't have a 5. No! Alright, we're starting to get into, like... some of these things are just so crazy with the things. So this one, that's a 5, and this is a 6. Do I have a 6 too? I can't even remember. Alright, I do have a 6. So that one we can do. 5 I don't have. I might be able to... I'm probably can add it, or I can just throw it over in my extra one that we have crafted up here. Do we even... why do we have this one? Oh, that's right. This is for, like, recipes that have... yeah, a fluid and an item in it. That's right. I was like, why do I have this mixer again? Do I have a 5 over here? 4, 11, 2. We, in fact, do not have a mixer with a thing of 5. Alright, what we're going to do is, I'll just do it manually. We're going to throw it in here. You know what, I need another thing on this as well. Alright, we're just going to throw it in here. This is like stuff that's just annoying. And plus these are my multi-blocks, like build the whole multi-block. I don't think we need that anymore. This is for raw growth. Yeah, we don't need to craft that up anymore. Okay, so like I said, we need this Dallin to something. I don't even know how much we need. I should probably make this recipe. Still haven't figured or fixed the... Oh wait, this is going to be a different one. This is just a regular recipe. I was thinking I haven't changed the alloy smelter to input directly into AE yet. Probably will do that eventually. So that needs to go back up there. Yeah, so we got that. I'm pretty sure we have that. We have that. We have that. Yes, let's make this recipe. Now I do need to craft one of the LUV ones up because it's doing that. You need that one to get the scanner recipe for this, but it doesn't even need... Okay, I don't think we actually need another... I don't think we'll ever actually need another component. I think this will be fine. I don't think we'll ever need another one. Until, like the Stargate or whatever. At least. Okay, yeah, so I need one to get the recipe for it. But I need... Shoot, I already forgot. 43? Yeah, we need 43 of these bad boys. So, that's going to give me an idea how much europium we are out of. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, neodymium, trinium, deep iron, lubricants I just don't have in a thing yet. Alright, so there are a few things, as we can see. I mean, it's not... This is a pretty expensive multi-block. I'm not saying it's not. Yeah, alright, I need to get this going again. I have it turned off so I could clear out some of this stuff. I think we need to turn that off. Also, I may need more capacity cards. That's so funny, I never realized this is how you do that. No. No. Where is... There. Turn that off. That back down. And I think galena... You just get too much of it. Even uranium. I'm getting kind of like an insane amount of uranium at this point. Also, nether star. I'm actually like... I don't need all these ores anymore. Or at least, not anymore. Just for the time being. Where is... I need 238, at least. Alright, 235 as well. I think I have those possibly turned off. Yeah, the nether star, 378,000. But that's kind of fun though. Alright, so I kind of turned off a few of like the crazy ones. But we need to get this going again. Okay, let me continue crafting this up, and we need lots of iridium too. Oh, actually, I'm going to set up, I got this stuff crafted up, I didn't set it up yet though, another setup over here for... We're gonna do radon. I want a large chemical reactor crafting up radon. So I'm gonna do... That'll be the next big one, and I have everything set up, crafted up for that. Okay, we are back. I have gone ahead, set up our third large chemical reactor, or mega chemical reactor, for our radon production, because we go through a absolute ton of this, and I finally have like a decent amount. Usually it just kind of fills up when I'm not smelting stuff, but as I am smelting more and more of these high-end metals and stuff, we are just going through radon like crazy. It's not super fast, as we can see. I could probably speed it up if we need. I think the bottleneck is the plutonium being smelted. I haven't really like dove into what is the bottleneck. I don't think it's the air, as we can see. I put 4 on there because it was an 18-second recipe, and then I was like, oh, maybe it's being bottlenecked by the air, so I added 2 more air intakes, and then it dropped down to a 4-second recipe. So I don't think it was anything to do with the air. I do think it is something to do with the platinum. I just don't think we are smelting it fast enough, and I don't have it like super fast. Anyway, I just basically, as I'm typing out what I'm saying, as we can see, I have a bunch of platinum, which I got from our plutonium cones, our plutonium B. I think I got like 4,000-ish, super fast. We already had a plutonium B anyway. So yeah, I got a bunch of 239. Unfortunately, we are not void mining. We're not getting it from our void miner. We're getting plutonium 241, as you can see, but not 239. Anyway, so I got that from bees. And then to get this up and running, I basically just switched out the old one we used to have. I didn't move it, didn't upgrade the hatches or anything. I did put the new coils on it, so it does more at once, but as we can see, I think it does 1,024 every 3 seconds. So we could definitely speed this up. This is running on like EV. I just didn't move it. I just wanted to like get it up and running as quickly as possible. So I will probably move that. Maybe like down here to get closer to our main line. Eventually, I just want to get rid of all this though. Anyway, that is that. So we are producing a surplus of radon. Finally, that has been kind of annoying the whole time. My fault though. I should have like improved our production anyway. Okay, so that is our radon. I think both of these, ammonia is full and hydrochloric acid is now full. So that feels pretty awesome. Next thing, I have gone ahead and crafted up. We got our component, the controller for this component assembly line. I have crafted up the LUV. So probably need to throw a travel anchor right there or something like that. When I need to do this, man, the base is getting big. I'll even, oops, there. I mean, I don't really need to have this chunk loaded out here, but it is whatever. Yeah, so I got that. I crafted up an LUV component. It should actually be done. We're scanning it right now, so I could do ZPM. So I'm thinking ZPM. Looks like it's finished. Yes, ZPM, and then we'll probably skip UV. Never know, though. So this is ZPM. These are all my ZPM stuff. Kind of have them a bit organized. So I need to craft up all that stuff. I got 10,000 more europium going at the moment for the ZPM components. Now, this thing is a little bit bigger than I had realized. Check this thing out. There we go. I think this is the biggest. Is this the biggest one we've crafted? Yeah, I think this is like the biggest multi-block. PCB was pretty close. But yeah, this is the, I think this is the biggest one. Now, one thing I am starting to, I think, I'm not entirely sure. You see the hint one dot is the input bus. There's only 6 places we can place an input bus. Does that mean this multi-block, we don't need to have these organized by order anymore? Is that what I'm like getting from that? We don't have to worry about. Also, it's really hard to. Yeah, so these would be the there's input bus, like right there. Can we just pipe all the stuff in and not worry about what slot it goes in? I mean, that is kind of amazing. We don't have to worry about all that anymore. I don't really know. This is more like we'll find out when we get it going. But wow, look at that. 64 boaters is 165,000 Europium. All at once. But you do craft up 64 at once. So I'm looking forward to this. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think... Well, there's not room for 16 things. Or... Wait a second. I just realized. No, okay, so this recipe has 9 slots, or 8 slots. But I'm only seeing room for 6 input buses, so yeah. I think maybe it doesn't matter. Okay, I am getting into crafting up some really large things here. Like 43 of these is a lot of bytes, so I have been looking at the crafting storage, and I didn't realize I could actually craft this up pretty easy, to be honest. Just LUV. I thought this would be a bit more complicated. The item processor is... This is all LUV stuff. This isn't even LUV. But, yeah. So I can craft all the way up to the 4096, the second largest. The only one I can't craft up at this point is this one, and that is because it requires bio circuit boards. I mean, technically, I could actually do that, couldn't I? I could just do this recipe. This recipe skips having to craft up the previous ones, but I could just craft those up and then skip that. Maybe I would do that, actually. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, we might as well go for the top tier one. Right? Alright, change my mind. We're just going to do the 4896 one right now. I'll wait till we get the next tier of circuit board. I'm not running out of my way to craft this up yet, but I mean, I can craft everything. I just need to get the biocatalyst, which is its own kind of craziness. So we're not that far off it, but I also, like I said, I don't really need it. And I don't think there's really no need to craft up 4 of these. I would rather just craft up 4 of these crafting storages if we wanted it, but we really don't. I think we're at... Yeah, we're only at 192, and I'm going to boost it up to 4096, so... Yeah, not that bad. I have started crafting up the rest of the stuff for the component assembly line. I've crafted up our iridium things. These are pretty easy to craft up. It's just, I think, 8 iridium. I mean, if I want to do 1,000, we have room for 1,000. So, I mean, that one's pretty easy. Input bus, tungsten steel. Osmium, we're going to have to do something about, but like assembly line casings, it's just a bunch of IV stuff for that. As we can see, I mean, this isn't bad at all. I want to make sure it finishes before I do that, but... Alright, it finished. Alright. So I'll probably throw it... I can't remember this one definitely has the most. They're not all the same, so I couldn't remember exactly what it was, but we'll just slap that down. I should just make them all the same. So I may actually just craft up. That's just a few circuits. I mean, this isn't bad at all. It's just a few circuits. Basically, these things are almost free. They're so easy. It's just circuit, and it's just LUV and IV. It's not even like expensive circuits. But all right, so that will wherever it is. What are these? Boosted it up. There, 4 million. I couldn't see it right away. But that will let us start doing this. Now, this is going to take a little bit. I mean, I knew this was expensive. One thing I didn't realize was the advanced filters. Because these require a motor. And a UV motor. I didn't actually realize that was the advanced ones. I was thinking those were just the ones on our assembly line. But we do need 124 of those. So, yes, this is quite expensive. But, I mean, we can do it. It's just pretty expensive. I do need to let the world run. Unless I want to craft up more fusion reactors. I'm just going to let the world run for now. At least till after the component assembly line. Once we get that, it's going to make things much, much easier. So I am just crafting up the glass that we're going to need. Unfortunately, I do know osmium is going to be an issue. It's one of the reasons I need to craft up another void miner. So I need to just go ahead and do that. I've been kind of putting it off. I can't remember which. Was it Barnard C? I think it was maybe Barnard C. Yeah, Barnard C. We will drop it on. And that will get us at least the rarest dust. If it doesn't go down to osmium dust, but you can use the rarest dust to get the osmium solution from. So we will do that. So I gotta craft up another void miner. That will give us 3. But in the meantime, I'm just crafting up all the parts for this thing, and I've started putting it together. I know I can just do the, shift click on the multi-block and it should build it, but I actually had a bit of fun putting this together. Now that it's in the world, we can kind of see how it's designed. This is supposed to be like a conveyor belt. Those are obviously supposed to be like the parts that build the thing as it goes along. So, pretty cool looking multi-block. Unfortunately, these, they don't move in the world, but that still looks like really cool. And I've got quite a little bit left. The vents that we need, these components that go on top, and then the glass. So there's really like 3 different parts that we need still, but I'm going to just start placing all this stuff down. Fortunately, this is probably going to make it. Yeah. I really wish I knew why these kind of mess up the look. Bit of a shame, because these multi-blocks they look really cool, and then the glass just kind of messes it all up. It doesn't always look like that when I load in the world. It usually fixes, and like right now, this glass is working fine. Is this glass? No, this glass isn't. But when I started up the world, you could see the fusion thing down the middle, so yeah. These are rendering fine, that is definitely not. But yeah, so I'm going to continue crafting this up. We just have to put the glass down the sides, the vents up top, and then the things down the middle, and then we will get this up and running. Also, the other thing, I haven't fully decided how we're going to do this. This thing accepts laser hatches, I believe. I don't know if it says somewhere. This supports GregTech laser and multi-amp hatches, so we could connect it directly to our laser if we need. I'm going to build that out to here. Unfortunately, it needs to go in like this row or this row. So getting the laser from under here, I'm going to have to like go to here to like here, an active transformer, then an active transformer up to here, and then an active transformer down into that, because you can't bend the laser. So that's a bit, I don't know. Do we want to craft up, what, 4 active transformers just to get it to get up here? It would be much easier if you could put it in the bottom laser, but that doesn't seem to be an option. And that's just kind of how I built the laser network. I don't have it showing. It's kind of underneath all the multi-blocks, and that's how we get power in. So, not sure about that. I may just do the multi-amp hatches. So maybe like 4 amp UV or something like that. Actually, UV 4. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. The 4 amp or 16 amp. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. But yeah, next episode we'll come back and we will get this up and running. We'll have to figure out how to automate this as well, because items are going to go in there, but all the fluids have to go in here. And looking at all the recipes, it looks like 8 is the absolute max. If we just kind of quickly scroll through all this, it looks like, yeah, 8 is the absolute max that I'll use right there. UMV sensors, that uses 8 different fluids. So I just did 8 right away. So we're gonna have to figure out how to get the items in there and then that stuff right into the input hatches. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today. So thanks for watching and have a good one.